Top right of the map, we have the former TSL Zerg. It is
TSL Shine.
Shine still wearing the TSL hoodie, but TSL is disbanding. A sad fact. At the bottom left, his opponent in yellow. Terran player for Team MVP it is.
MVP Dream.
Dream cannot advance to Code S anymore, at least not directly. He can still get third spot in the group though. If he loses here, he still can tie. He needs to wait for a little bit of a weird scenario though. And at the same time, Shine really needs a win here if he wants to get a direct spot in to Code S. But if Dream takes it now, then Shine can still get third, but he can't get first or second anymore. And this means that Tasia would be in Code S. So Tasia is watching this very intently because he knows very well if his fellow Terran player takes it, then suddenly he's already advanced.
Yeah, very true. This drone is going to be very annoying for Dream. He goes CC first. Whenever you go CC first and your opponent drone scouts, this happens to you. He also has the ability to go double hatch before pool, which we have seen Shine do in the past before. So we'll see if he decides to go for it now that he knows everything.
No, he goes for the spawning pool first. He plays it a little bit more safe here.
Don't blame him for that.
Yeah, not really. I'm also... This is a really unique situation for the groups that we have, because usually we only have to worry about the first two places, who advances to Code S, and not about the third. If Shine loses this game and Tasia gets into has the spot for Code S already, I feel that the match between Tasia and Squirtle wouldn't even be played. That would be the third match of this series that we have right now, because both of them are already in Code S and only the matches against the other players of the group would still matter. The Tasia Squirtle match would not really matter at all.
It would only decide who gets 5-0 in the group.
Yeah.
Or 4-0 in this case.
Yeah, so this would not really be a big issue. We might see it, but I really don't think so. But, well, that's something that we can worry about if it actually happens, because first of all, Dream has to win against Shine, and Shine proved already that he is a great Terran versus Zerg player. He might take this game, and then things will look very different.
Yeah. Notice that at this point in time, Dream's orbitals finish up. He's only taken one gas, which means that he's not going to commit to Cloak Banshees. He's also probably going to take a fairly quick third command center. This is something that we see very commonly on this map. This matchup is very figured out right now. I feel like potentially the most figured out matchup in the entire game.
What's always funny to me is that Daybreak lends itself to very long Zerg versus Terran games. Yeah. Sometimes we have a player go for a very heavy Ling and Baneling aggression, and if there is no siege tank mode, then this can be very deadly for the Terran player. That's something that we also saw yesterday when Jaden was facing Flash on Cloud Kingdom. But on this map in particular, we see a lot of late game Terran versus Zergs, and then it also comes to the question what kind of unit composition the Zerg player wants to use. If it goes into the very late game, we usually see Broodlords and Ultralisks, but a lot of Zerg players try to start this map with an Ultralisk composition instead of going straight into Broodlords. I'm personally not a fan of it, because on Daybreak in particular there are a lot of choke points, a lot of ramps and a lot of corners where Ultralisks are very difficult to handle. You always need to really have good frontals and to get as much surface area as possible. But a lot of Zerg players are kind of confident in their ability to make it happen and to get surrounds, to get sandwich positions, to get good flanks. So if it comes to that, I'm very interested to see what Shine decides to do. If he really wants to start this with Ultralisk, or if he prefers the Broodlord composition here. But this is of course still like 20 minutes off, 15 minutes off.
But it may occur, you know, this is something we see on this map a lot, but consider we have double factory going down here, so we're going to see, actually, let's see what he's got planned. He's going to do, yeah, he's going to do Blue Flame Hellions, triple Hellion production, rather than 4 Hellions at a time, one of those builds. So there's the Infernal Pre-Igniter going down.
Not hitting this as an all-in, he already has a third orbital on its way, scouts the third base of Shine, and Shine builds this wall in at the front, and the wall in is really important, especially when you are up against Blue Flame Hellions and double factory. A lot of Zerg players miss to close it though, and this is a big problem. What you can do, and what a lot of Zerg players should do, which only a few attempted in the past, is blocking it with another evolution chamber when you see what's coming. It's very cheap, you can always cancel it. You also have the queens for transfuses, you can also block with the queens. But let's see what he's gonna do, and when he is actually going to identify what's coming, because right now, he doesn't really know about it. The Overlord is scouting the main base at the bottom left now, but so far he doesn't know about the Blue Flame upgrade and the double factory. But he will in a second.
Yeah, he's about to. The Overlord's coming in. He's going to see it. There he sees it. So, you know, some players like to just make spine crawlers and get a Baneling Nest against this, but some people would like to get the roaches out. Here comes the attack. Right now, Blue Flame is almost done, and he does not have a block here. The Queen's barely getting here in time. That was a close call.
Yeah. Queen's now trying to move in, and this was really close. The Zerglings, they died, but they bought the time that he needed.
Yeah.
And Shine, right now, could you double check if Shine saw the 2 engineering base? Because if he didn't see them, he has to assume that there's going to be a mech play. But with
he
the
sees
double,
them right now.
Okay, so he just spotted them. He gets the Roach Warren. The Roach Warren is really helpful against the Hellions, but if he wouldn't spot those 2 engineering base, he would probably overcommit to Roaches because he expects to be a mech play as a follow-up.
Exactly, and that's really important to note, but especially because right now he's going into 1-1 upgrades, but not any upgrades for his Roaches, and if he wanted to switch into Roaches, he would be a little bit more frustrated at how he has to research his tech, but Lair is done, and I don't think we're going to see Roach speed. We could see one of those big Roach attacks, but on this map, and given that he's seen the E-base, it just doesn't seem likely at all.
Yeah, he has the E-base, he goes into a Spire now, but he still has the Roach Warren, and the Roaches against the Hellions alone will be very helpful. But scouting is everything here. If Shine would not have seen those 2 engineering base and the barracks, he would have built a lot of Roaches here, and this might have been good against the Hellions, but later on it would have been a problem. He can still build a few of them if he feels
if he wants to, you know, yeah.
If he feels that the Queens are not enough to deal with the Hellions, then it would be a good choice. He has the option now, but he sees the 3rd base, and going for the Spire this early is definitely a good choice.
I like the Spire, and I like that he made 0 Roaches, because so far with the Queens, with that Spine Caller, are enough. His creep spread is insanely good. It's just not only connecting his bases, but also it's pushed down past the rocks. He's got it at his 3rd base moving forward. He keeps doing these Ling Run buys to just check and make sure, just keeping Dream on his toes. But the fact that he's made no Roaches is really smart. He's got that option to make them. 2 2s on the way, and how many Muses is he going to commit to? That's the most interesting part going forward here.
He didn't build up a huge bank. He wants to not kill him with Mutalisks right away, but he wants to go into a late game composition with Broodlords as well, and that's why we have him now with a +2/+2. Which is of course very gas intensive, so he can't get as many Mutalisks as he would be able to build without these 2 upgrades. The speed for the Banelings is nearly done. 80 Harvesters, having a really good saturation, even going for a 4th base. He's playing a very intensive macro style now, not getting too much aggression out. The Banelings though in a awkward spot, especially without speed.
Oh wow, and now the Lynx can't fight this alone.
Yeah, 2 Banelings are all that he could save here. Does he get another Hellion? Nah, that was close though.
Yeah, he almost got the tumor. I guess that's what Dream was planning on for there. Maybe he wanted to force another transfuse, but
the Mutalisks will kill them. Yep. Or at least force them back.
Keep them off his back. 6 Mutas coming out, and this is, you know, somewhere between 4 and 8 Mutas is all you really need to not only clear up the Hellions, but also to shut down drops, and that's why Shine goes for that. He's going to go for a little bit of harassment because he can, but that's not the primary function of his Mutas, because even having the Mutas alone forces turrets, which costs money. And it's just 1 Muta is all it takes. He's actually going to bring them all together here. Gets 1 Hellion, not
unbelievably quite. Didn't get in every single one. Look at this.
1 hit point on one of those Hellions. The other one's at 22 and 12, the other red ones. That's actually crazy. Burrow is almost done. Looks like these 2 Banelings are going to be set on a trap route. So just not headed for a crossbar STX.
Dream has a very decent upgrade pattern here, and he also now builds a sensor turret as he realizes, well, you have Mutalisks now, so I need something to attack early on when you want to attack. And now the missile turrets, he talked about it, it's all cost minerals, that's gas as well with the sensor turret. So you have to be a little bit careful of how much you invest, but he sees that there are only like 6-7 of them.
I really like that turret for several reasons, actually. The first one is because Mutas always try to pick off dropships right there, and Nesty was the first player I ever saw do this, because whenever you try to 1A to chase Mutas or dropships come. The other reason is because these Banelings, which actually get a few Marines, but you can't put Banelings on that ramp if there's a turret there. In fact, I'm pretty sure he could have seen those Banelings with the sensor tower, so that's a little bit weird that he walked onto those, but...
The borrowed ones?
Yeah. Oh, actually, you know what? It's right on the edge. That's hard to say.
I'm pretty sure you can't see the burrowed banelings. I don't want to put money on it, but I'm pretty sure you can't see the burrowed ones.
You know
the
what?
sensor turret has no detection. As far as I know.
I admit that I do not know.
I'm like 99% sure that you can't see the burrowed ones.
I thought that was the case at
Only
first,
if you have detection as well. Here comes the attack first.
Yeah.
We'll solve that issue later. At this point, we have one attack at the bottom right. Clean up.
He shuts it down. He doesn't lose very many mutas. The third base attack, though, for Shine was also shut down really well. He had a great wall there. And now his Baneling Force is barely going to escape here. He's going to take out maybe a few of them with these Hellions. Like
but he has the Hive now halfway done, and this is what he really wants to go for. He wants to stop attacks, but Dream is really moving out now.
The Siege Tanks are ready here. He can't actually fight. He wants to, but he can't. And now Dream is continuing to push forward. That fourth base is really important for Shine with the Greater Spire. He needs those gas geysers to actually be able to support the Broodlords. The fourth base at the bottom right, he kept it alive. The fifth base is going up. And Shine is starting to build up the gas. Notice that he's being very cost efficient. He hasn't taken any rash engagements. He didn't actually fight there with the Siege Tanks. A lot of Zerg players would have messed that up.
The job in the main base is not going to do too much, but here we have the main engagement, and the Banelings are trying to connect with the Marines, but nice movement here by Dream. Good unit control, immediately pulling them back. The Banelings are now gone, and suddenly the supply advantage for the Terran player here. Moving into the base, trying to take it out. Difficult for Shine now to make this work. He's going into Greater Spire, but the timing for Dream is excellent.
That is. The Infestors here are really important, but Dream already has a really nice split. In Shine, Broodlords are not on the menu right now for him because he can't even worry about that right now. Even when the Greater Spire finishes, he's got to worry about survival. This is a great counterattack, though, completely circumventing everything that Dream has, even with the Sensor Tower here. He actually is able to avoid this. He forces a stim. He's running by. He's forcing Dream to actually turn around with a lot of his units. So Dream no longer has that very forward position, but he did force the cancel on that hatchery.
Trying to pick off a few of the reinforcements. 3-3 for both of them on the tap. Here come the Lings again with the added support by the Mutalisks. He's focusing them down one by one. 2 Mutalisks, 3 Mutalisks dead, 4, 5, and the last one is barely able to escape with 1 hit point.
Yeah,
that was too much.
That was not a good trade there. That's a lot of gas lost. It frees up some supply, but in this case, with all the drops going on, you want to have those mutas there for sure. And Dream is not finished with his attacking. He's cleared up a ton of this creep. It's going to take a few more seconds for it to recede, but the tanks were actually unsieged, and Shine decides it's a good time to go in, and the bungles are pretty good.
And this time he does a lot more damage than the last game. He gets the Medivacs. Fungal against the Medivacs, exactly. That would help him a lot here. He takes down the last few reinforcements on the ground, but plus 3 is nearly done for the Terran player, but the first Broodlords are now being built.
Yeah, he's making 3 of them, and 3-3 is actually about to finish for Shine as well. He's got that supply lead. He still has that 4th base, and he stopped Dream from having a 4th. Dream has, right now, 3 additional command centers going up. He has the 4th base command center, and he has a 5th command center that's flying right now. It's actually 5 extra command centers. He's not using the mine, but they're all going to be able to drop mules. He has 72 harvesters right now. Doesn't need to make a single additional one at that point. He could even throw some away pretty soon with that many orbitals he can make. Look at all the medivacs he has as well. He has 11 medivacs.
Against, with 51 Marines. And +3/+3 is now nearly done for both of them. Do we see another drop coming? Yes, he's already heading to the right side of the map, into the main base, but there are so many spine crawlers. Shine really set up to work against these drops. And this is exactly the things we mentioned in the early game. Daybreak is a cool map for Terran versus Zerg if you really love these late game scenarios with the races. That's what we are headed for right now. And the question that I had earlier, what Shine is going to do, was already answered. He's going into the Broodlords. He prefers them over the Ultralisks. And now rocks in the map are also gone. Gives Dream a bit of an edge with the pushing distance.
Yeah. You know, sometimes the rocks can be a double-edged debris that's destructible in the middle of the map, because, you know, if you kill the rocks to attack and your attack fails, then your opponent's counterattack is going to be a little bit easier to execute as well. The Queen's here to transfuse the Broodlord, so he has to turn around. Actually, he might want to siege up right now because this Zerg army is very close on his tail. 3 Ravens coming out. Dream is ready. You know, in the current patch of Wings of Liberty, you can actually use Seeker Missiles without an upgrade, so the Ravens are going to be really useful for point defense run, but more so I feel the Seeker Missile in this case. And the Sensor Tower is going to get knocked out. That means he can't spot the vision of his opponent's movements anymore.
Sensor turret is dead, as you mentioned, and now the Broodlords are having the high ground position here. There's not a lot of them. There are 7 in total, but yeah, the queens for the transfuse important, and also as soon as a unit approaches, the fungal is there. The siege tanks are just trying to keep those infestors at bay.
The positioning here for Shine is so good. Even though his opponent has an arc, he's just so patient and methodical with his pushing. He's pushing into a concave, but doing it carefully. But I'm not sure if the Baneling push through is actually the right choice.
Well, he has the fungal to make it work, and he connects with a lot of these Banelings, taking out Marines everywhere.
He really does. And now the Corruptors actually are pushing through. There's not that many Marines left on the ground. There's a lot of medevacs, but if you're not healing anything with them, it just doesn't matter.
That's a big problem now for Dream. Shine has a good position with those Broodlords, and he is putting on more and more pressure. He's trying to move in. +1 attack for the air units is nearly done. Now it's completed, and Dream is just desperately attempting to get more Vikings into the game so that he can finally do something against those Broodlords.
He's got the Ravens, but he doesn't really have the Vikings. He's making them right now, though. But Shine is in a great position, attacking this base, also keeping the units on the ramp.
The Broodlords are the bane of Dream's existence, and here come the Zerglings, landing a bit of ground support. The Broodlords still doing a lot of damage. Here come the Seeker missiles. No, he's going for the auto turrets. He has the Ravens ready.
And the Ravens are going to go down here. There's too many Corruptors. Even the Vikings are completely gone. The Planetary is helping out quite a bit, but it's just not going to be enough. It actually could fall if he targets it.
50 supply lead for Shine now. He wants this win. Dream in trouble, and the bank is also there for the Zerg player. If he is able to take out this this Planetary, and that's what he just did, then Dream is going to be so low in economy. He has a big problem at his hand, especially when Shine moves on to the top left and takes out this base.
Yep. And there come those Banelings. It's actually just going to kill all these mules that he just dropped, which in total right now is 6. 6 mules he just dropped. He could actually take them out right away. Here come those Banelings to the top left. And decent hit there. Could have been better.
Could have been better, but good hits.
It doesn't matter, you know, considering this is the big deal.
Yeah, and suddenly all those starports are being camped, and when they are gone, then no Vikings for Dream, which means that the Broodlords are uncontested, and it looks like the former GSL Zerg player is going to take it. He is moving in with his forces. The Queens are still there, lending their support. They have everything they need. Here come the Broodlings, fully upgraded, and there are only a few Vikings left. They are not going to be enough.
The Corruptors alone are just taking out the Vikings with relative ease. Now he's going for the medevacs. The Marines can't even protect them. They have to run back from those lings. The Broodlords at the end doing enough at the Ultralist transition. It's not even necessary. Shine could actually have done without it, but it's a very clever one in this case. And now, even though Dream still has a little bit of mining, he can't even get Marines out of his production facilities as they're dying as they pop out. A few more mules being dropped to the top left. That's his lifeline base.
Ultralisks, Broodlords, Infestors, Queens, he has everything, and he's throwing it against Dream, who's trying to hold on, but he is struggling more and more by the second. There is just too much Zerg and not enough Terran.
Exactly. And finally, the last Corruptors begin to fall.
Yeah, Dream is just trying, and Tasia, of course, he knows that it is. GG. And Tasia is not in Codes just yet. He has to face Squirtle next. If he wins against Squirtle, then Tasia is through, and Shine has no chance to advance to Codes, can only hope for the 3rd place in the group. So he needs a bit of support from Squirtle, who currently is already out of the group. The next game doesn't really matter to him anymore. And you know, the issue that we talked about earlier, the sensor turret and what they discover, that's an issue where we open Pandora's box a little bit, because everyone kind of agrees that you can't see the units on screen, that the sensor turret doesn't lend detection. But a few people told us that you can actually see them on the minimap.
That's what I thought. Yeah, you can only see them on the minimap. I don't think you could see them at all, just only on the minimap.
I'm actually...
Because the thing is, if he sees them on the minimap, he doesn't know that they're Banelings necessarily if he just 1As without really looking at what's under there.
Yeah, we got a lot of different feedback for that. A lot of people tweeted us and told us, well, you can see them on the minimap. Others said that you can't see them at all. And I'm personally not so sure if you can really detect them on the minimap.
I only thought on the minimap.
I'm at this point, I'm really... Yeah, not certain anymore.
To me, I'm just not even interested in it anymore, because we got an awesome match coming up between the 2 first placers in the group, Tasia and Squirrel, to find out who really takes first place. And that Baneling only killed like 5 Marines anyways.
But still, I'm pretty curious. I have to try that out later, because there's no one who really knows exactly what's happening. A few people told me that they tested it out, but still, there's a bit, yeah, it's a bit Pandora's box. Everyone has their own opinion, and I want to test that out later. But right now, as you said, Squirtle against Tasia, it's now a match that we need. If Tasia takes the win, then he is in Code S together with Squirtle. For Squirtle, the match doesn't really matter anymore. He already advanced, and he knows it. Shine, though, he needs Squirtle to win here, because if Squirtle loses to Tasia, both of those guys that you see on screen right now have a Code S spot, and the only thing that Shine can hope for is third place in the group.
Yep.
I'm excited to see this game.
This is going to be awesome. I mean, these are the two titans of our group. They're the players who have gone so far undefeated.
Yeah.
And it looks like one of them is going to take a loss after all. They have to face each other. The map is Whirlwind.
Big map.
And I feel like neither player really has a weakness in the late game. So if we get to that point, this could be epic. And I'm really, really excited. Again, this match does not matter for Squirtle at all. But to be able to take Tage out here, one of the best international players the world has ever seen, would be a pretty big accomplishment. I think he's definitely going to try for it.
Yeah, he definitely will. So let's jump into the game. Terran versus Protoss, Tasia versus Squirtle, and the GSL.